A very warm welcome to today's episode of the Virtuous Woman Show. My name is Sheila Juma and I am your host. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in and for being a faithful follower of the Virtuous Woman Show. And we know that this show is being a blessing to you, and not only you, but women across the continent of Africa. We thank you so much and we are grateful for you. Today we have an amazing show lined up for you. We want you to go ahead and, as always, ask someone to come and watch with you. If you're watching on Facebook or any other platform, share this link with others, share it on your platform, and invite people to watch with you. Don't be blessed alone, for this is going to be an informative show. Follow us on our social media platforms. We are the Virtuous Woman Show on Instagram, on Twitter, and on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss any alert when we do upload our episodes. Like I said, it's going to be an interesting topic because today we are talking about managing midlife transition. And for that, we have an amazing woman of God who is going to speak to us on managing midlife transition and tell us more about what this is. Could you, our viewer, be going through a midlife transition and you don't know? So keep watching and you will be blessed. In studio, we have Dr. Anjiro Kagunda. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. So kindly go ahead and tell us who you are and what you do.
Thank you, Sheila. I am Dr. Kagunda Jiri. I come from Kirinyaga County. I work in Moi University as a lecturer. I am grateful that the Lord has kept me and He has given me a life, and I'm here. I'm also a bishop's wife, and we serve in Gospel Outreach, Kirinyaga County. I am a professional counselor, a motivational speaker in many forums of young people, churches, corporate world. I do professional work as a co-director of Blessed Hope Counseling Center, which we started quite some time, and I'm grateful that I'm here, even as an author and also a speaker. Thank you.
Wow, you wear very many hats.
Yes.
God, I'm sure, has given you the grace to do all that you are doing.
Sure.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So like I said, we're talking about midlife transition. I think before we go any further, it's quite important for us to figure out or to hear what midlife transition is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sheila. Midlife, like it says midlife.
Yeah.
It is a combination, that word is a combination of two words. There's a word mid that has been cut short. It's supposed to be mid-row, but we pronounce it as mid.
Right.
And then this life, transition. Basically, what it means is that it's the developmental period of life that is right in the middle of one's lifespan. In other words, what we mean, as we know, there are several transitions. There are times that you are young, you're an adolescent,
right,
a toddler, you became a single adult in the early years of life at the age of 20s and 30s. Now when it comes to midlife, you are right in the middle. We would say it's like you've lived half of your life.
Okay.
You're now getting into the other part of life, and you're right there in the middle. The word transition, because we are talking of that mid-transition, is a very key word here that is taken to mean basically a period of remarkable change. Transition, wale ambao wanaelewa Kiswahili, tunasema transition, it is ni wakati wa mpwito. Mpwito, unapita. Kwa hivyo, it's not a stagnant period of life.
Right.
You're moving from one state to the other, right in the middle of your life.
All right. And so that means there must be a certain age group that goes through this midlife transition. What is the age group?
Basically, when we talk about, when we are beginning, we are getting to our 35 years and above. As you remember, we are not limiting ourselves, but the scripture talks about when we reach age 70, and then God gives us the bonuses of the other years.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that at 70 you are heading.
Right.
It simply means that when you reach 70, God will give you the bonuses. So if it is at that point, then 35 becomes an optimum period where you begin to think about your life. And at the time that you reach 40 and 45 above to age 65, you would say you are in midlife.
So 35 all the way to 65,
Yeah,
you would be in the category of maybe experiencing midlife transition.
Sure.
Now, another term for this topic is crisis.
Yeah.
But we start we start off by calling it a transition.
Yeah.
So what are the signs of a transition? Is it just because you get to 35 or to 40 that now you're in a transition? Or what are the signs that someone can tell, I'm going through a transition in my life?
One of the things that makes you feel that you are in midlife is basically, one, a sense of you are beginning to conceptualize, to understand. You look at the back of your life and say, I've come this far.
Yeah.
And there is a journey ahead of me. But basically you feel you need a change.
All right, okay.
Yeah, these changes begin, and you don't understand it properly, but you are transiting and you're not getting it, the concept is not coming out very clearly, but you are feeling like you are on a journey.
Yeah.
Another thing that is that you feel like you need to change, particularly those who are working in the area of career. You feel like you have been in a career for a long time. And you're asking yourself, am I going to move this way? Do I need to career? Do I need a change? Do I need to adjust? Do I need to realign myself? Is there something craving within you, telling you there needs to be a newness in you?
Yeah.
Another thing has to do with, if you are married and you're in midlife, you begin to feel that you really want to relate with your spouse now as a person.
Okay.
You've learned up and down, going to work, coming back. So what? Can we sit down now and think of how we can move on now? Something else that comes in midlife has to do with emptiness.
Emptiness.
In terms of
children.
Parenting. That becomes a key symptom that, hey, life is moving. The children that were making noise, the dining room that you'd all be there at the table, they have begun to move out. And you are left there. If you are not married, you are left there alone. If you have a spouse, then you are left there, two of you. And you are saying, hey, we began this way, and the children have gone. Now, another symptom, not only that, has to do with not only the emptiness, but re-nesting. Okay. The children have gone, but the children might begin to bring back their children.
Okay, now your grandchildren.
Your own children. The grandchildren are coming back for a whole holiday. Others are coming back because the mother is pursuing a cause, the mother is having this challenge and another, and then they begin to come back to the nest. Now this is not your nest, but you are re-nesting because it's a nest.
Yeah.
You're providing an opportunity for them to come.
Yeah.
Then there comes in also in the transition a change in gender. What men feel in midlife is not exactly what women feel.
Okay, there's a difference.
There's a difference. They depart. And basically, without elaborating more, that is what we call gender crossover.
Okay.
The gender crossover is the woman has been in this house for a long time, bringing up children, going to school with them and church. Then they have gone. And she begins to become a social belonger. A woman in midlife begins now to move back to the society.
Okay.
To serve the society.
I've seen that happen.
Yeah. You have heard women talk about, we are going to cook for our youth. They're having a seminar. This youth of ours, she becomes a social belonger.
That's true.
On the other side, in summary, the man has been working extra hard to provide for his family. And now in midlife, the man is saying, I have enough. Can I go back and enjoy with my wife? The man is coming, the woman is going. And right there comes the midlife crisis.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I know if you're watching and you're self-examining yourself, you're doing a diagnosis and wondering, am I in this place? So if you find yourself in diagnosis, it is positive. What are some of the things that you should do during this time so that you can handle it well? You know, because something you said to me earlier, I really liked, that if you don't handle midlife transition well, it becomes a crisis. Yes. So how do you handle transition well so that it does not have to become a crisis? It just happens to be a transition that you move on and life moves on.
One of the things that you need to do, for example, there is the aspect in midlife of deteriorating health. The wear and tear of your body. You've moved. And then you're feeling, as I wake up, my back is aching. One of the things that we need to do is to embrace change and have a positive, anticipate that when I get into that place, shall be a change. Number 2, we encourage people to embrace the issue of exercise.
Right.
If you have a deteriorating body and you're feeling your body is getting low and the mileage, the tenacity is going down, the energy flow is not as before, take exercise. Another thing that comes in midlife that you need to make it a safe transition has to do with being open to learning.
Okay.
Be open to learn more about midlife. It is interesting that I learned about midlife back in my 20th year.
Wow.
I was researching about it. That is arriving at a stage before.
Right.
Getting information that will equip you and enable you to move through. And that way you avoid the crisis. The other thing that has to be there is the issue of getting to know how do you relate, build a strong social capital. And that's why most of the time the women do well. Because as they move out, they get other women in groups and all that, they're talking about it. And when we tell our men, also build a social capital whereby you have women, other people to come around you and you talk and say, by the way, these days things are like this. Not only you, I'm also going through the same. You are now getting to know it's not only me. Another things that also come in, we need also to take care of our spiritual aspect.
Okay.
The spirituality aspect is very, very important. Developing meaning in life. Because you might realize like you are moving around a table. Why am I having this? My children have gone. Instead of keeping on calling them when they are in class or in college, or they're at night and they are writing to you an SMS telling you, Mom, I'm okay, niko sawa. And another woman told me, watoto wake wanamwandikianga, wako college, waita, alafu wanaandika with the exclamation marks. Yani alama za kusisitiza. Mom, niko sawa. You know what they are saying? Mom, poa.
Yeah,
I'm
just
okay.
relax.
But the woman is alone. And that's where they say, even sometimes you find a woman talking with the chicken, talking, unaongelesha kuku wako unawaambia, nimekuja. Because we are used to talking. The woman still cooks a lot of food because she was used to that. So open to learning, a strong spiritual aspect, social capital will develop a meaning in life that will make you to go through. Yes.
And then now for the man.
For the man, here comes the situation now. The man, most of the time, the image of a man mostly is seen through the pocket. And men attach a lot of emphasis on what they have. We encourage our men to know that there is more than getting, that they also begin to reach the community, to give back to the community. Because there was these children who were always asking for bread, for a pen, for school fees, and he felt useful in the home. Now that they are not there, who will ask for what he has? So we tell the men, let's get out and build the society.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. I really like that. That is very informative. Even for me, I like that you said that you started learning about midlife crisis in your 20s.
Yes.
I'm currently in my 20s, so I am learning.
You're learning.
Yeah, I'm learning.
Yes.
When everyone gets, because everyone gets to that place, when God, if God blesses you with more life, you get to that age of midlife transitioning.
Wonderful.
Are there people who don't necessarily have to go through the mental transition, the whole reflecting back on your life? Are there people who just get to that age and they pass as if nothing has happened?
There may, because we are different.
Okay.
And our uniqueness makes us to handle situation in different ways. Say like now, Aisha Juma has learned a lot about midlife. As I learned a lot about it, and when it comes, and I'm realizing that I have an empty nest, I'm able to get back to books. I'm able to sit down, begin to research, begin to do a lot of research work. It's like, it's not really affecting me. And like now, when I get out to get to talk to people in the talking forums and I have something to say, and I see a woman and I make a joke about our midlife, it's like, Anastuka, yeah, she's wondering what will happen. Because even in midlife, like the woman goes through menopause. When they go through menopause, it's not a disease.
Yeah.
So when it is coming with all the issues that are around the menopause, it's like you are dealing with it the way we dealt with the adolescent. When the man comes, it doesn't have menopause because menopause is biological. But for the man, You have what we call andropause.
Okay.
Andropause, the woman is menopause. Andropause is a psychological setup of a man where he begins to wonder whether he's really important in the society. And behind him, there's a generation moving very fast. So he wonders, am I useful? And that's why you might find a man buying a vehicle that looks like a sport vehicle. And as it is moving, everybody takes note that he's coming around.
Yeah.
He's still putting stamp on the street that he's around.
Right.
So we tell them, get back to the society. And if you learn more, equip yourself more, embrace it and anticipate it, you'll move it safely.
Right. Now, I want us to talk about one thing that I'm sure people who go through midlife transition or midlife crisis struggle with a lot.
Yeah.
When it comes to reflecting back over your life, there are people who will get to that place and feel, oh my goodness, I have not done much. I wish I did more. You'll find them having regret, a lot of regret, or feeling like my life has not amounted to much, and here I am, I'm 40, I'm 50. And people get depressed, very depressed. Someone who has gone through that, or someone who is currently going through that, what would you say to such a person?
It happens, and almost all of us feel, this I never did, that I didn't do. I started this, I never finished. And looking back, it's like you are saying it, you are heavily laden with the guilt. I'd like to address such a person, let them know it's not too late. Midlife is simply a stage, and there is life ahead of you. You will never do enough to say now, God now come, I think I'm through. There will still be things that you have not yet done. The most important thing is, at that point you have realized that. Instead of sulking, sitting down and getting to a depression, rise up, plan, and do what you have not done.
Okay.
Take it easily. Say, I never did this, I never did that. But there is more in life.
Right.
And arise and do it.
Right. So at that moment when you realize, then do something about it. Don't sit in that situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's a very eloquent answer. Thank you so much for that, because I'm sure it has helped some people out there.
Yes.
Have you ever gone through midlife crisis yourself?
At one point, I started in my career. I'm a secondary school teacher for 19 years. And I still remember one time inside the class, in a Form 4 class, I looked at the young children. I said, God, give me a change. I need a change. So I would say, in my career, I went through that change.
All right.
And right now, as I sit here, and as we have been moving on, I've realized that when I re-careered, because what happened to me, I re-careered.
Okay.
I got into a different field, applying some skills, but still moving on in the teaching profession. And I felt a little relief. Secondly, I was able also to get another area. I have adult children. And in my midlife, I got a child.
You got a child in your
child
midlife.
came into my life.
Right.
And that one gave me a new breath of life. He's a CBC child, 12 years of age, and a big gap between that one
and the other one.
It also brought in a new dose. And I was wondering, now this one, if he goes completely to work, what will I be doing? So that was almost a crisis.
Yeah.
What do I do with all my time?
Yeah.
So, but when he came into our life, and I felt like I am energized again, I can cook again, I can prepare again, and I wake up early in the morning to take him to school. My life feels like I'm moving. If outage there, you've gotten another one. And don't get apologizing to people. Rise up to the demand of the occasion.
Right. Amen.
Yes.
And what about your husband, or like family-wise? How did you handle your midlife transition together with your husband in your marriage? And did the midlife transition affect your marriage?
Well, the way I would say the way he went through his midlife transition, and this is normally what men go through. They reach a point they feel they take what we call, when a man is midlife, between 50 and 55, from 45 and above, he feels like he needs to do a lot. Every man looks for a certain day. And that is in every man. Gender intelligence tells us that. That every man looks for the day, one day he will be very, very rich. So what men do in midlife, they get what we call grad projects. Grad projects. He's a bishop. He's a preacher. But I saw him also get into farming in midlife.
Okay.
And that was the way he handled his midlife. He's very happy when he comes with a banana. He tells me he's been looking it for me. And I appreciate it because I know he's in midlife.
Yeah.
He wants to feel he's still the man.
Yeah.
And he's needed
and he's
in this
needed.
home. So he got into the, and men will get into grad projects, sometimes that are not very profitable, but it is giving him a lot of energy. He has something extra to do with all the time that he has, together with his career.
Yeah.
I saw him go through that. And we are happy, and most of the time, we joke about it.
Yeah, it's something that you can laugh about.
Yes.
Amazing. So very briefly, I just want you to let me know, what are the dangers of not handling midlife crisis well? What are the extreme ends that someone can go to because of not dealing with their transition?
Thank you. I take into two. One, if for a married couple, if midlife transition is not taken properly, misunderstanding arises. Why are you getting into this? And I'm here. And that can bring a lot of conflict. Number two, loneliness crops in to those who are not married. If you are alone, you feel like you are just alone in an empty nest. And outside there, and a new generation, a younger generation, may become, loneliness sets in if people are not fully occupied. And number three, a sense like you are not very relevant in the society. And that's why we need to keep on getting the new information, equipping ourselves so that we remain updated. For example, I give an example here in the relevancy, in the sense that the woman has gone to meet her social duties. The man is left. And he came to enjoy life with his wife. So you've left him there to take care of himself. You have done your best, but he's left alone. He might be feeling like he's alone, and that can easily introduce a different aspect of him going to look for the company elsewhere.
Right.
It's dangerous.
Right.
It is a danger. So we need to understand it so much and get our spouses to move alongside with us. For the single mothers, single fathers, they might bulk their interest and energy on their children. Keep on visiting them in Nairobi. Keep on doing 1, 2, 3 calling and all that. The children might feel mom is too much, dad is too much. So we need to let them know also this is a stage, and it has a beginning and it has an end.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, okay. So one of the things that it can bring is misunderstanding. Misunderstanding, because and especially if you don't understand each other, or if you don't even know what is happening, you don't know what is going on is actually midlife crisis, you can get that misunderstanding between the two of you. Now you have a lovely book here, Managing Midlife Transition. Kindly tell us a little bit about your book.
In my counseling center, I began to receive midlife people coming and saying, we've lived so well with my wife, but now the children are taught here that we cannot talk with each other. And I realized this was where the midlife crisis was coming. I wouldn't want to go back, but I want to say, for those who are married, the sexual aspect manages, the sexual issues really feature in midlife, because the energy, the libido is low. How are we going to stay together? And that one may be something for another day. But it happens that people are not moving together. One is going through menopause, another one is still here. How do you manage it? And when they came, I was able to realize there's a problem somewhere which need to be addressed. We've addressed the children, we have addressed the teenagers, we have addressed the single adult, but we are not addressing these people in the middle. And that's how I came up with this book. It's a combination of experiences and encounters in my counseling work.
Okay. All right. So how can we get the book?
The book is there on the market.
Okay.
We produce it and we have it in our office, and anybody needing it can always contact us.
All right. How do we reach you?
You can reach me on 0726 244 375. I can come up again, 0726 244 375. That's my cell number. Email Kagunda at gmail.com. You're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Anne. We are really grateful to have you. Please do look at that camera and give us your parting shot. What would you like to tell our viewers concerning our topic today?
I want to tell my viewers and our viewers today that life is a matter of transitions. And when you find yourself in midlife from 35 and above, all the way to 65. It's a wonderful season. If you know how to manage it, you can enjoy it yourself by equipping yourself with knowledge. Get as much as you can and enjoy the journey. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm really, personally, I'm very grateful. I've learned quite a lot that I will be implementing in my own life. And I encourage you, our viewers, to do the same. Do a self-diagnosis based on what we have said today in our show today. Do a self-diagnosis. Are you in that category of people who are going through midlife transition? If you don't handle it well, it will become a midlife crisis, and there are dangers to not handling a midlife transition well. And if you are a younger person, this is informative as well, because you're going to get to that stage. So make sure that you've learned and you've stocked up on research so that you handle your transition well. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have been your host, Sheila Juma, and I'm really grateful to have had you on our show today. I will see you next time, same place. Have a good rest of your week. Bye-bye. She's a virtuous woman.